Let's now move on to our second main topic today. And number 2 today comes to us from Rian Cleary, who writes, just read on ScreenRant that the Fallen franchise with Gerard Butler is getting 3 more movies and possibly a TV show. Do you think this franchise has anywhere to go after the overdone plot of the 3rd movie, i.e. banning Frame for an assassination attempt? Thanks, John. All right. So for those of you who don't know what Ryan's clear, when he talks about the Fallen, he's talking about Olympus has fallen, London has fallen, Angel has fallen. It's the Gerard Butler Fallen trilogy.
What he's talking about is awesome.
Well, not so. Listen. I liked the first one, Olympus has fallen. I was turned off by that movie initially because that came out around the same time as White House Down.
Yeah.
Looked like the same thing, and I saw I made the mistake of watching White House Down, which was dreadfully bad with Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx. Awful, awful, awful film. And then it wasn't until much later that I thought, I'll give Olympus Has Fallen a try, and I totally enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun with that movie. London Has Fallen, not so much. The third one was a bit of a push to me, but a number of people quite enjoyed it. Anyway, the president of the company that has all the rights to these things, they were at a film marketing conference, and he basically made the statement that we're going to make 3 more. We're going to make 3 more. Which to me is dreadfully confusing. Because despite the fact they don't make bad posters. Not bad posters. I like them. But let's look at what the box office in these films have done. These are not opening weekend numbers, ladies and gentlemen. And these are not domestic numbers. These are worldwide numbers. The worldwide numbers on Olympus Has Fallen was 170 million, which made it very surprising that it was going to get a sequel. But they went ahead and made a sequel, and it made a little bit more at 205. Still, not something huge to write home about with Morgan Freeman and Aaron Eckhart and Gerard Butler, and this a big franchise, and boom, explosions, going to blow up London, and blah, 205 million. And it was terrible. And then for some reason, they decided to make a 3rd. And they came out and they made a 3rd, and suffering from the lack of quality on the second one, it makes even less at $133 million, the lowest grossing of the thing. And it is in this environment that the president of this company is saying, we're going to make 3 more. On top of that, we're going to sell individual market rights. So like if there's a production company in India for India television networks and streaming service that want to make within our universe, but Gerard Butler's character has a friend in the Indian Secret Service, and they're going to focus the show on that. And then in Germany, they'll make a German one. They want to spread all this thing out. Listen, I get the idea of wanting to grow the brand, but when you look at does this thing have the numbers to justify like 3 more? Really? After the last one made 130? I don't know, Rob. How do you see this?
Well, okay. This is these kinds of production companies that are making these movies. These movies are not expensive. They're not spending.
They're not Blumhouse cheap though.
No, they're not. They're
super cheap.
I would imagine a movie like this, 35 million, 40 million, 45 million, maybe. I mean, if you're making that, you think about. Let's say the movie was $45 million or $40 million. Angel Has Fallen was probably cheaper than both London Has Fallen and Olympus Has Fallen. But they're still, for a company, they're still making some amount of money, and they've got good cash flow because the money's coming in. It's a solid. It's what would be called a solid earner for this company. Now, we're so used to looking at these giant, massive profits, but when you have smaller production companies making these things, you don't have the same kind of overhead, so the movies don't have to do as much money. But if they're churning, if they keep income coming in, and you eventually get more income than you've put out, and they keep it going, it's running cash through the company, and they could. I mean, I like these movies. I've liked all 3 of them. Because nobody's doing these kinds of movies before. Like, I grew up watching canon movies like Chuck Norris and Invasion USA or American Ninja, or the Delta Force. I mean, this is kind of scratching that itch.
It's a little bit of a throwback.
And no one's making these kinds of movies now because a lot of this has moved to TV. This is one step up from Jack Ryan on Amazon, which I'm digging, which I liked the first season. The second season was not as good, but I still liked it. And I think that this is filling a niche that the other movie that Gerard Butler was in, the submarine movie.
Right, which I never did see.
I did see it, and I just got it recently, and I liked it. I mean, I love, again, it's
and isn't like Academy Award winner. Why am I freezing on? He was the greatest actor not to win an Academy Award till he just did for playing Winston Churchill.
Oh, Gary Oldman.
Gary Oldman. Wasn't Gary Oldman in that
yes,
too?
Yes. And Gary Oldman, there's Kursk about the Russian submarine, which they changed the title. I haven't seen that yet, but and all of these movies, I mean, they're basically like Fast and the Furious movies without cars. The Fast and the Furious franchise has been turned into one of these movies, and I think it's really interesting that this is an underserved market that I think people are digging these. I'm a dude. If I want to watch a meat and potatoes dude movie, I turn to the Olympus franchise. I turn to the Has Fallen franchise.
And by the way, you were pretty bang on. The production budget on Angel Has Fallen was $40 million. Still couldn't have made money with that budget.
Well, if you think about it,
could got close. It just doesn't seem like something that screams, "Let's do 3 more." But it's interesting. So anyway, good call on that. Listen, guys, question is for you. What do you think about the idea that they want to make 3 more? Are you perplexed by it? Do you think it makes total common sense? What have you thought about the movie so far? Jump down to the comment section below and leave us your thoughts. All right.